everybody. This is Skeet.
This is Mosh and Mikey.
Rock and Roll Roundtable.
Hey, our good friends at Moshman Media with another presentation for you this week.
This week, up and coming bands.
The risers, so to speak. And there's probably a ton of these, okay, that people in different genres are going to say, well, this band's this and this band's great and that band this. I'd kind of stay in my wheelhouse, unless somebody points out, like we had on the viewers submission show or suggestion show. I'm going to stay in my wheelhouse, and a lot of my wheelhouse, to be completely honest, comes from YouTube or from Facebook Reels or stuff like that. It doesn't really me going out searching for it isn't really what it is. It usually pops up on my feed somewhere and I find a little something about what I heard to be interesting. And then I'll see a little bit more of them. And I think, these guys are kind of getting around where people are posting more of them. They're on tour start going out on tour with some of the more prominent bands in their genre. So I didn't go like to soft rock or pop or punk even kind of stayed in the rock, classic rock, metalcore, deathcore, and I think there's kind of a punk in there. It's kind of a what I call a pop punk kind of thing. So what I did was pick out 5 bands, and I sent them to Skeet and said, okay, these are 5 up and coming bands that I see getting more traction on whatever media I see. And I go look up their songs and we take a listen to them. And I got a little information about them. So that's where we're going to be at today. And I'm going to be right up front, honest, right off the bat. None of this music that we're going to share about today is groundbreaking to me. It's just nothing is like, oh my God, it's some miracle and it's so different. They're pretty much a formula for certain genres they're in, but they do well enough to get attention. And it's like sometimes you can't reinvent the wheel. If you grew up listening to certain stuff and that's your influence, when you play, it's going to come out sounding like that, unless you're intentionally trying to go off the path. You're intentionally saying, I'm going to do a brand new subgenre of music nobody's ever seen. Most people don't do that. It's just the way it is. And in the later years, we've really gotten into so many genres that it doesn't matter anymore. You can lump into any genre you want. And a lot of these bands are going to be like that. Some people are going to call them classic rock in a sense. Some people would classify them as sleaze almost. So, and there's other bands in the mix. So the first band I want to talk about is a band from Florida, Sunshine State. They are called Gunshine. Yeah, Gunshine. Kind of a strange name, but okay. I took a listen to these guys. They had the look like an 80s band, not like a hair metal band, just more like an 80s band. They don't try to, I don't think they even, maybe not even resemble an 80s band, but their sound's definitely in the mix. All right. Not so much for me, it was like hair metal sections, but classic rock sections mixed in, kind of sleaze metal a little bit. But the singer, Axl Rose, twinge of Axl Rose, but way better singer than Axl Rose. He's much cleaner. He's much more controlled. The band itself is solid as you can get, and I mean they're probably worthy of being more noticed, even though they're kind of going retro with their sound a little bit. And we've talked about bands that do that, Mad Hatter and these other bands. They're, I think they're in the now enough to not say, oh, these guys are a clone of Guns and Roses. They're not Guns and Roses clone.
No,
The
no.
music doesn't resemble Guns and Roses that much. The singer, yeah, a little bit. He's got like a mixture of Axel and maybe, you know, Stephen Piercy or something. It's kind of in that realm for me.
Well, I got a Mark Slaughter
Yeah.
feel
Okay.
from
Yeah. I see
him.
that.
So I got more of a Mark Slaughter sounding voice, uh, with elements of maybe Axel or something like that. So I'll agree with that to a point.
Yeah. It's a
He's
fair
got
assessment.
a really good voice. Uh, some of the lyrics were kind of cliche,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I understand what they're trying to do. Guitar player was really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
some
he
hooks
was
in some of those songs. Yeah.
really good. He's really good. He was all over the place, and I mean they're a pretty solid band. And I think they've been doing a lot. I think they've come through Columbus a couple times within the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So
I
they're
think,
really putting in
yeah.
the work as far as hitting the clubs and trying to get their name out there.
I think they're playing either Columbus or Cincinnati area coming up like next month or the
Soon,
month after. I think they got a
soon,
show out
yeah. And it's a during the week show,
there. Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well,
So
yeah, when you're up and coming, you got to kind of go with what you get there. I mean, you can't all have the weekend spots, but I mean, there's a few songs that I really liked. I liked Feel All Right a lot. I think Daylight was probably my favorite. And it's the
okay,
one I wrote down as my favorite. And I listened to it again, a couple days ago. It's like they got some really good stuff. And the newer stuff, I think they got an album coming out in like July.
okay.
So they will have new music this year. So I'll be interested to see. And I hope the best for them. I mean, I do. I think they're good enough to kind of carry the torch with twist of their own styles. It's not like we're covering hair bands and 80s rock and trying to mix it with today. It just comes out that way. I think they're just really organically playing what they want to. It seems they don't seem like it's an effort to go any direction.
It's
It's just
not.
that
It's
they this
definitely not a
is what
parody.
we play.
It's not a
Yeah,
parody at
yeah.
all.
No,
So
it's not a parody.
it's legitimate. They've got a mix of like you said, classic rock, 80s Guns N' Roses era bands
Yeah,
without
yeah,
being the overly sleazy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get
yeah.
that vibe from them. I
Yeah,
thought the songs were pretty solid. The ones that I heard, I didn't get to hear everything, but I
they
did
had
give them a good
yeah,
run through.
they had a couple songs that were like L.A. Gunnish for me, but not like to the point where I thought, oh, here they are trying to. It just had little twins here, and it'd be a little spot where you'd say, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But they did there. It's kind of like reminiscent, but they go on and start playing their own stuff. So I thought they were pretty good. They got a pretty good following. I mean, I go by Spotify numbers just to give me an idea. I think there's 60,000 followers a month. That's not horrible at all for starting
Yeah,
out. So, and yeah, I do see them a lot. I see their name a lot. They put in the work, definitely social media. I see a lot of reels and so good on them. And I think they're solid. You'll probably be hearing something from them if they get a break, here and there.
yeah,
So
yeah. Pretty
okay.
solid hard rock band overall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I would classify them best as hard. Now, the next one I go to is called The Band Feel. These guys definitely hippie-ish sound. I mean, and they're more into I would say 70s rock, maybe not all 70s rock, but they have an element of that Southern 70s rock, Skinnerd and Blackfoot kind of stuff. But they make it their own. I don't think they loll around in there trying to be copycats of these guys. I think these guys are from the South. I wrote some stuff down about them, but I don't know if I wrote down where these guys are from. But they just look the part to me. They kind of look like the bell bottoms would be their friend, and it's got a groove to it. The only thing I didn't like about the band Feel that I could tell you right off the bat, I did not like the sound of their drums, the snare drum specifically. It kind of had no snap to it. It was kind of like a dead thud kind of sound. The stuff I heard. Now I'm not saying it sounds like that live or anything, but I mean, what do you think of the band Feel as far as grooves and all that stuff?
Uh, I mean, everybody sounded good. Everybody, I mean, they sounded good. Uh, I thought they were a little too ballady
A little
in
bit,
what they
yeah.
put out. That was the only thing that I was kind of like, all right, it, boring but good. How about that? It just
Yeah,
it
like I said, nothing sets the world on fire.
yeah it didn't yeah there wasn't no epiphany of oh these guys are great, but they were a solid band. I they were okay.
Yeah, I'd
I
say,
didn't like the. It was just like maybe like you said the hippie thing that might have come through, or just it was just too ballady. Too
yeah,
many
there was
ballads on a EP.
one song that I really liked. It kind of almost sounded country-ish, but it was ballady. Was Shoals Creek. That's the song that I put as my favorite on them. It's pretty new. I think that one's pretty new, so it's gaining some traction. But they remind me of definitely of a bunch of guys that probably listen to classic country along with the Black Crows, kind of stuff like that. Kind of a
Okay,
combination. Throw some early '70s rock in there, Eagles or something. Yeah, a little ballady. They're not going to rip your face off in concert, but I bet they would be a solid band to watch. I
yeah,
think they would have enough to them to do that. So the band field, they had about 40, I think 45,000.
wow.
So they're still on the low end. I mean, as far as bands that are climbing, but they're getting there. And good luck to them. Yeah, if you like them, check them out too. We will move on to what I could only classify as pop noise, kind of punk noise, maybe. And somebody sent me this one, and I was like, okay, I kind of get the allure. It's younger girls in this band called Die Spitz. Very, I don't. They're not kiddie of any sort. They're more like they're not the Go Go's or anything like that. They got Sonic Youth feel to them a little bit. The noise part, the ambient noise, but it's all female, which has no big deal. The Breeders could be thrown into this mix. I mean, not quite as they're more angry and distortion everywhere and stuff than like the Breeders. I only listened to a few songs of this because I just didn't get it. And I'll be honest, maybe I need to go back and listen to them more. I didn't get the allure of it at all.
Maybe elements of Veruca Salt
A little bit, and that
a
maybe
little
that's
bit.
what put me off because I'm a big Veruca Salt fan. I don't think they were as good as Veruca Salt, maybe because they're young and starting out. I got a lot of it. I mean, I see them a lot of places when I go look. I type their name. They got a lot of views on their videos. They look energetic at a show. It would be fun to go watch. And maybe I'm not giving them enough credit due, or I didn't listen to it enough. It just kind of I was expecting something else, and I got this kind of strange thing going on. I didn't know, man. What did you think about Die Spit?
Uh, well, I got the vocalist kind of like I said had like a Veruca Salt type
Yeah,
feel to it. I would suggest to this band that you need to bring those fucking vocals up. It sounded like she was so far in the background in a few of the songs that I heard because I didn't get a listen to all of them. Again,
right. I didn't
I
either.
set the situation. I listened to this stuff on my way to work, so I got about 25 minutes to run through
A band a
these
day or something.
EPs,
Yeah.
and if it's a hardcore listen through that we're gonna do, then I'll listen to it the whole way. But this week I had some stuff going on, so I got on the way to work is where I was listening to all this stuff. So as far as I got through it, it was okay. I did catch a punk feel to it
Yeah.
in,
Huh.
in, in spots in the songs that I heard. And again, I was more the production of it was the only thing that I didn't like. So if they'd have maybe brought her voice up in the mix a little bit more, it would have been better. It sounded like they had her like in the hallway, and
Yeah.
I liked what the band was doing. So they've got some decent chops for what they're doing. It's just it was disappointing because I really wanted to hear her. I wanted to hear the vocalist more. So
Yeah.
out of
And
out of all that, that was the only fucking flaw that I was like, and so it just didn't catch me like it maybe they wanted to get people to pay attention to.
that could be yeah, it could be as easy as a production thing for them. They, maybe not got the best production starting out. The live reels I saw were they looked like they were into what they were doing,
Yeah,
and
so that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. This might be a band that you go see them live with somebody who knows how to fucking mix a punk rock feel band to where you could actually hear everything. That was the only turnoff to the whole thing. And it's not that
yeah,
she had a bad voice. She had a decent voice. I liked what she was doing. So
yeah, they have some popular stuff on there. They have some that have over 2 million streams. I mean, they had an album out a couple years ago, a full length album called Teeth. That's the first kind of one I grabbed a few. I only grabbed a couple there and one from the new one, but there was a song called "Groping Dogs, Gushing Blood." I thought that was I said I have to check this out and that was actually a really good song. Now the
and
other
that
song
was
I listened to
off
off
their
that was
first
"Hair
one.
of Dog," and I didn't like it as much as the "Gushing Blood," but it was like, oh, they got. I
So
mean, they got 400 almost 400,000 streams a month. I mean, they're up there. They're in the 300. They have an album from last year, Something to Consume. So what I'll probably do is go give them another shot and
okay.
listen to that whole album because I just picked like a song, maybe two off of that one, and I listened to a couple songs off of
So
the
they've
Teeth
got
album. So
two full albums. They do
yeah,
have.
according to this, yeah, they had a couple singles. They had an EP back in 22. But as far as full length, they have two albums
Okay. Well, I'll
and
I'll I'll
22
go
and
check
25.
out one of the full length albums then because I think I just grabbed the EP.
Yeah, that might have been your problem with the
So there
production.
you go. Yeah, that might have
It
been
does
it.
it
I'll give
does
them a
it
chance.
does sound that. Yeah, it does sound like that. I mean, I think it's kind of purposely because it didn't maybe not as bad as what you're talking, but they definitely have like an echo chamber with her voice sometimes.
Okay.
Not every song I listen to. So
Okay.
yeah, these are young girls. I'm not sure if I wrote down where they're from. Oh yeah, Austin, Texas.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, they're
Okay.
from Texas bringing it up. So yeah, I'll give them another chance. It's like one of those things where I guess I was expecting. I seen the reel and I thought, okay, this is going to be crazy good, and it wasn't good or as good off the bat as I was hoping. So I kind of said, well, I got two more bands to listen to. I
Yeah.
would think, should have went back. That's my fault. The next one is probably I knew it was going to be your least favorite. I absolutely already knew that when I sent it to you. These guys are another band from Florida, the Orlando area, and they're really climbing their deathcore area, which it's not your forte. But they're called Heavy Hitter, and they have the slash marks in between heavy and hitter for some reason. These guys, man, they're kind of cookie, if you want to call it cookie cutter for deathcore. The screaming is not like different level, but the reason it caught my eye and my attention was I think it was a YouTube video, and the breakdowns were brutal, brutal. And and if you're into deathcore a lot, that's what you search for. And I love a good breakdown no matter what genre it is. But yeah, these guys have more than one. They have like songs that will have more than one breakdown in the song that gets you throwing, you're throwing punches in the air. Like, it's just they got that power. Now, are they something I would go out and listen to every day, even me, like the heavier stuff? I'm not quite there yet. I mean, they have a few good songs, and they got a couple. It was just like, come on, can we get on with it? And that sucks to say that because it's not their fault that that's what they sound like and they play, and they're playing true to their heart. But I guess a deathcore fanatic would love these guys more than I do. I think they got the singer's understandable though, a little bit for me. I can understand what he's saying a little more than I can in some deathcore, which is good because I like to hear what they're getting pissed off about. But man, like Paved in Blood, oh my lord, that song I could commit homicide to that. It's just like, man, that makes you want to just punch a wall in a good way. But it's like superhuman strength, man. It's like adrenaline rush. And that's just my favorite. Now they have some that do well outperform this, like I think it's Wall of Wax. Yeah. It's not a bad song, but it's like it's heavy, heavy too. But man, that Paved in Blood, I stay away 5 feet away from me. I'm swinging, just out of pure joy. And walk pacing around the house listening to this stuff. So they're definitely in the heavy chamber. Whether or not you love them, if you want to hear what heavy sounds like today, heavy hitter. They got an
Okay.
aptly named band for sure.
Shall I partake and give you my opinion?
Well, sure. I know it's going to be different than mine and people like
uh,
me. Sure.
I agree with the breakdowns. That was kind of cool. I was not expecting that for them to break shit up like that.
Yeah.
So it was definitely fucking heavy, and I get the hitter part because he's an angry fucking dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's
He's
ang-
me.
I he almost throws out as many cuss words as you did in our early stuff.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of the word fuck.
No, and I love him for it. If you look on their playlist, there's not many songs. I think I see one song on this list of 20 that doesn't have an explicit lyric sign next to it. That's my kind of cheese right there. I don't care about mainstream. Just let it out, dude. And they do. They definitely do. Now it's almost overbearing for me at times. It's just not enough uh, mixture. It'd be cool if they had a melodic song here and there. It's all punch you in the nuts kind of
Yes.
music.
Yes, very very aggressive. Does he do all the vocals or does someone else join in? Because if it's just him doing all the vocals, it's kind of cool that he could do the different because I heard different it sounded like different voices. So is he doing all that or not?
I would say probably not. I mean, most of
Okay.
those bands have a bass player or guitar player, so even
That
drummer.
comes
A
in
lot
with
of bands
vocals.
come in and scream like to help out. I haven't seen them live enough to remember
Okay.
if I remember seeing the guy stepping up to the mic and shit. But
So
yeah, they're
His Cookie Monster shit, I was out. I'm like, dude,
I can
I
understand him.
can't
That's
even
the
say if
scary
it's
part.
good or bad because it was just okay, Mikey. Thank you very much for
You gotta
scaring the neighbor kids when I crank this thing
expand,
up.
man. Expand your horizons. You gotta get
But
out there.
again, as far as what the band was doing, I was impressed. They are fucking heavy. I liked your various breakdowns in some of these songs. Was kind of cool. They changed it up. So, okay.
Yeah.
Without the vocals, I could listen to this and go, all right, that's cool. I could actually bob my head and fucking get into some of what they were doing musically, but his vocals just, it was just bad for me. And
Well,
it's
yeah,
not that he did bad. It's just, yeah. As soon as you
I
get into the Cookie Monster, I'm like,
well the problem with that, and I'm not speaking for everybody that listens to this music, but I don't know what else you could put in there because it's so heavy. If you just sang like normal and that heavy of stuff, it would lose like three-quarters of its intensity. But I also get it, you know, being on the opposite side of it because not everybody's into that heavy, heavy stuff. Some people listen to bands that all they do is squeal. You know, we've
yeah,
had
yeah,
Metal Act we've
yes,
talked about, but there's other bands where I can't understand a thing they say. So at least with this one, I thought, there's parts of the song I can understand what he's getting at. I can
yeah,
understand what I'm hearing. So I think that they're in their niche. They're not going to come out of that. So as far as deathcore, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be in the loop for a while.
okay,
So yeah, good on them. And 200,000 views a month on the Spotify, not bad for a deathcore band for sure. And I know they're out. I can't remember who's the headliner is, but they're out on tour now. They've been out on tour a lot. I've seen them on jumping on different tours back and
okay,
forth. So they're out doing they're paying their dues to doing churning it out. So good on them and good luck to them.
okay,
The last one we have for today is a new metalcore band. And the mystique around these guys was the big draw in for a lot of people. They're called President. Dude wears a mask, like a cheesy, pathetic rubber mask. It's not trying to be a authentic mask. You can tell it's a mask meant to be like Point Break's what it reminds me of. When they robbed the bank in the
yeah,
president's
okay,
face. Maybe that had something to do with why he did that. I don't know. But supposedly, this is the supposed lore around these guys. There's a British pop star over there, or a pop punk star or something, that is the singer for the band. And on their second video, dude took his mask off, and it was this popular guy over in England. So everybody thought, okay, that's laid to rest. And I thought, okay, they wanted to use it to get in the door. He still wears the mask. So to me, it's kind of this is just an intriguing part of that. What if they had the dude take his mask off so everybody would think it's him and it's not? The mystique is still there. Well, why do you put a mask back on if we all know who he is? Well, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe that dude just did the video. So they're marketing genius. That's gold, man. When you act like you're revealing and then you say, you might even had the guy say, "Oh, that wasn't me. I just did a video." I don't know how they did it, if they did that. But more than the stick. I mean, the stick was why I checked them out because of the mask, the cheesy looking thing. It was like very well hyped up too. It was like you didn't hear about nothing about this band. Then, like a week before the video came out, oh, there's this band coming over from England. They're supposed to be, Sleep Token, a ghost kind of thing, and it's going to be crazy. But metalcore, which you hadn't had that yet. Ghost is not metal. Sleep Token's really not metal. So here's a metalcore, like a newer band, a newer genre, doing the same kind of thing. Man, I tell you what, I watched the first video. I was a fan pretty quick, and not because of the stick. It was like I watched this the In the Name of the Father, which was still my favorite. And boy, that's just good. He's a fantastic singer. The music is not overly heavy, but it's definitely in metalcore. It's got enough kick ass to keep you occupied. But his voice, it's kind of like, you're talking about heavy hitter, and it has to be that voice. This guy's got more freedom because they can get really heavy, but the tone is not down in A, whatever they're tuned in heavy hitter. This is like a drop D, C band, and he's got the chops for sure. These fuckers got 932,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. So they're doing quite well. And they don't even have a full length album yet.
Yeah, it's
They
just that
had,
EP.
yeah, well, they got a new song out. And then that kind of caught me. I didn't care for it. It was a ballady type, which is like, it's okay. But it's definitely, if it is a pop star from England, that would be fitting.
Okay,
You know, it just wasn't my thing. That's called Angel Wings,
okay,
and it's got like a million six views already or listens already. Only been out a little while, but like the song I was mentioning, In the Name of the Father, 19 million fucking views on that song.
damn.
Yeah, that's just the song on here on Spotify. That's not counting YouTube or Apple Music.
Okay,
Everything they got's in the hundreds of fucking thousands. Not there's one 13 million, another's Fearless, the song Fearless, 9 million, 7 million. So everything they put out has been like people are eating it up. It's like hit a spot, I think, for guys like me included, that like, okay, I don't want to get beat and pummeled in the alley like heavy hitter will do to me.
yeah,
But I don't want to listen to Taylor Swift. I like to something in the middle. Let me meet in the middle. This is kind of in the middle.
okay,
And I think, beyond the stick, the band's quality, the singer's quality. I don't find the words cheesy. I find them being quality lyrics as far as that. And they're just starting. So, God, I hope they don't go the Angel Wings direction too much, though. I mean, having a ballad, okay, I'm all about that. But I hope the rest of the album stays kind of what they were doing with the early stuff. But they're
okay,
definitely going to they're getting attention. They're playing the festivals over here this year. So I
okay,
think the United States hasn't really been a big got a big dose of them yet. So I think it's coming. It's coming as far as the live show. So
okay. Uh I I listened to probably the first three on this one, and I didn't know what to think. I'm still kind of like, well, what is this? I heard just a lot of fucking elements in it, so I'm confused. I'm gonna have to listen again. I listened to the Rage for a reason.
oh
You
yeah.
get a song called Rage, and it's like, okay, let's
Yeah,
see what you
yeah.
did with it. And you know, it was kind of all over the place for me. So I'm gonna have to give it another listen through to see what I might have missed on the later songs on this EP. I have not heard the
Yeah.
single, and I did not watch a video, so it was all just listening to this band and forming an opinion. And
Yeah, you'll have to check that out. I don't know that they're probably not totally going to be in where you like to be. If I had to compare them with bands today, we're talking like Bring Me the Horizon, Bad Omens kind of thing. They're all in that metal core where they have some really heavy moments, but most of the time it's heavy, but it's not. Like I said, it might be in drop D tuning. It's not going to sound as heavy as drop A, or whatever.
I mean,
So I think they're in that mix with them guys. The biggest metalcore bands in the world right now.
okay,
They're fitting in with them. So it's not a bad place to be, I'm sure.
I I mean it sounded good. So whoever produced it and did that, it's it sounded good. His voice fit. So it they did some good work on this album on this EP.
Yeah, and I think I think the next album will kind of make. I mean, it'll set them through the stratosphere, or they'll just kind of lull into every other metalcore kind of band,
Well,
Asking
it
Alexandria,
it
that
depends
stuff.
if they do well at these festivals here in the states, and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
like the show. It could be one of those bands where you have to go see the show because the show is spectacular and it outshines the album.
yeah.
So maybe if they bring their A game and really impress people here with the show like that, I mean, I'm not going to say their Kiss level as far as a show, but if they
No,
do
no.
something like that and put on a really good show, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, and I can tell you right now, they're kind of following the blueprint of all these other bands that were. I'll go back as far as Bullet for My Valentine, then you get up to Bring Me the Horizon, and then you get into the Bad Omens because they were kind of level playing field for years, and then something just popped them up, and
Okay.
they became these mega stars because they hit a spectacular album, or their singer became this like throb, almost like a heartthrob back in the day for us, would be like a teen heartthrob. A lot of
Like
younger people attract to these guys that sing, and
Young
that's
Blood or
kind of what it
something.
is. Yeah, yeah, young blood.
I don't get the appeal of Young Blood. I mean, he sounds like he's a good singer, but I'm like, I would rather
Yeah,
see the Warning on that tour that's coming around.
yeah, but I mean, Youngblood's more of a pop guy. He's gonna, even though he's done some rock stuff with the Ozzy thing, he appeals more to the masses. Probably the younger female really think oh, he's so cute, blah blah blah. And then you got guys like me that just, I think he's got a great voice. It's just I'm not all about the music, but man, when you recognize a good voice, you just kind of
Yeah.
say, okay, he's a little overhyped. I get it. I don't think he's maybe as good as some people put him in. And to be honest, I don't think that he thinks he is yet. This from the way I hear him talk, but he has a persona to play too. So he has to do the whole thing. And so we'll see how it happens with these guys. Youngblood could be in this mix too, as far as new bands for me. But
Well,
yeah,
I would
President's
I
going to
would
be hot, I think.
I would go the Warning. I really like a lot of their stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
So
warning's
that I mean
fantastic.
they
Yeah,
just got that they've got that fucking upbeat. I like their stuff. So that's just a couple up and comers that you might also want to check out.
yeah. I
Just to
saw
throw
them
on a
playing 10.
sidebar there.
Yeah, I saw them playing covers 10 years ago. The drummer could barely reach the damn drums. It's like, yeah, they've really put their
Yeah.
work in and got better and better. So yeah, the warning, Omen, yeah, sure. Bunch of
Well,
good
Mikey.
bands, though, folks. Yeah, I mean, go out and whatever genre you're into. There's something for everybody in this episode. So hop on a service and check it out, or YouTube, or whatnot.
Well, good deal. Are you ready to wrap this up, Mikey?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
Awesome. We'll have to come up with some new up and comers. That's a really good that was a really good idea to do that, Mike.
yeah, yeah. We'll work on it. We'll whatever we see and start to get a sense of being bigger and climbing the charts. Well, yeah, we'll check into them. Sure.
Awesome. All right, this is Skeet.
Mosh and Mikey.
See ya.
Peace out.